What's up guys, it's James from Basketball Noise here, and today I'm going to talk about how you maintain and evolve your basketball jersey collection. I think this is a really important point. We see on YouTube all these basketball collections, and it's even on our channel, you see our basketball collections, but you might be wondering, how do I maintain a basketball jersey collection and how do I evolve it going forward? So I'm just going to go through this now with you in some quite simple steps. So unless you've got like a wealth of money and you're like mega rich, sort of like billionaire, millionaire sort of style, you're probably like me and you buy jerseys as and when you can with the spare funds that you have. Hence why I'm really keen on getting jerseys really cheap. That's sort of my niche in basketball jerseys. But if you've got a collection and you want it to evolve, you need to actually sell bits that you don't really care about. So one of my things is I've mentioned it before, I've got a Richardson Golden State Warriors jersey. I should really just sell that because I'm never going to wear it. I've got no interest in it. Is it a nice piece? Yeah, it's all right. Like, it's good, but it's too small for me. What is the point of having a jersey that's too small for me? I'd much rather get a jersey the correct size, which I might actually wear, rather than having a small jersey which I'm never going to wear, and I just leave it there. You know, like, I don't see the point in that. So one of my first pieces of advice would be, if there's bits on the fringes of your basketball collection that you don't care about or the wrong size and you don't fancy, and you can get something better in the right size and it's something you want in your collection, then you know that is what you should go for. Sell the stuff you don't want and get the stuff you do want. And there's a great quote from the Blind Side movie, and it's always stuck in my head because I'm quite a big guy, obviously not as big as Michael Orr, but like I literally, if you can't imagine yourself in the jersey, then don't buy it. Like, if you're not going to wear it, don't buy it unless you're one of these people who've got vast amounts of space and can have racks upon racks of jerseys. That, you know, you are living the dream. You are a lucky person. But I've obviously got some small space, and I want to ensure that my jersey collection is a jersey collection I want. So if you can't imagine yourself with that jersey, then don't buy it. So obviously, with what's going on at the moment, basketball jerseys are probably getting worn quite a lot around the house. But one of the things that I've sort of learned, and this actually came from my wife, she gave me this tip, and it did kind of work. Maybe she was just trying to tell me to throw some stuff out. But on the hangers, you face the hangers a certain way, and as you wear your jerseys, you turn them the other way. So at the end of the year, you can see what you've worn. If you haven't worn a jersey in the year, and like that sort of sums up how you feel about that jersey. Okay, if it's a collector's item and you want to keep it for posterity, then by all means keep it. But that's a good indication of whether a piece in your collection should be sold so that you can get something that you really want. Now, my next piece of advice comes about storage. And storage, you might be going, what's this guy on about storage? Like, why are we talking about storage of basketball jerseys? Because I find it a really important point to do with basketball jerseys. Because I've lived in student digs and you've got mould everywhere. And you come home to your wardrobe and there's mould in your wardrobe. And if you spend $150 on a jersey, you don't want it getting damaged. Like, that's just throwing money out the window if you don't care about how you store a jersey. So what I'd say is, if you know your house is okay, you haven't got mould, fine. If you're in student digs, you've got jerseys and you think there might be mould, just be careful where you put your jerseys. You know, they are worth a lot of money. The next thing you've got to decide is how you store them. So do you hang them? Do you fold them? Or do you roll them? Now, in my current predicament, I've just moved house. All my jerseys are folded nicely in a box. But once I've got my house sorted, I'm going to be hanging them on hangers. I think jerseys on hangers is the best option. Be careful of the hangers you hang them on, because I go for wooden hangers, but obviously if you've got metal hangers, they may rub and cause marking on the jersey. And even plastic hangers, if you've got those multicoloured ones, you never know, they could leak onto a jersey, particularly if it's a white jersey. I wouldn't want to risk that, so I stick with wooden hangers personally, so I'm a hanger. I don't like folding. You can fold them, but unless you're a real good folder, I'm not. I can't even fold a piece of paper, right? Then you might put a crease into the number, which it's not something you want to do. So if me personally, in terms of storage, number one is hanging them up. Number two is rolling, because you can roll it nice. And number three would be folding. But these are some of the questions you need to ask yourself when doing a jersey collection properly. There's no point in just buying, you know, as I said, $150, $200 jerseys and just throwing them in the corner. Like, they're just not going to last. And you know, you want your jersey collection, you want to show it off, you want it to be absolutely tight as possible, and one of these things is ensuring that you've got good storage. Okay, so in my last video on jerseys, I mentioned 10 jersey types everyone should have. I strongly believe that that is still the case. However, you might want to find a niche for your jersey collection, and you might be here going, what do you mean by a niche for my jersey collection? So here's an example. Maybe you only like sand knit jerseys, which was from the late 80s to early 90s. Maybe you only want to collect them. Maybe you're a massive New York Knicks fan and you just want to collect New York's Knicks jerseys rather than jerseys from everywhere. Like, I support the Lakers, but I also like lots of different NBA players. So I'm quite happy to be a bit of a Glory supporter and have basketball jerseys from left, right and centre. But you might have one affiliation with a team and you might just stick to it. Obviously not Golden State Warriors fans. We know this season you've already dispersed somewhere else because you had such a bad season. But you'll be back next season when you're good again. Anyway, I really do think that you need to think if you want a unique jersey collection by being in a specific niche, or whether you're going to just have a broad jersey collection. I'm definitely in a broad camp, but if you're in a real niche, then you can almost become an authority if you learn so much about the jerseys. Like on the basketball jersey Reddit, you could say whether it's a legit check, if you could be a legit checker if you know so much about those jersey types. You know, your knowledge could grow so much by having a niche jersey collection. If you're a broad jersey collector like me, then one of the things you're going to have to watch out for is the different sizing between manufacturers that happened with NBA jerseys. Adidas jersey could be much bigger than a Nike jersey, and a Nike jersey is going to be significantly bigger than a sand knit jersey. To make your life easier, I wrote up a whole table of the different jersey sizes. I'll put a link to it in the description below, and that will show you what jersey size you are for that manufacturer. But that's something you really got to keep an eye out for, because I have had the experience of buying a jersey which was XL, and let's just say I couldn't really fit in it. It was a sand knit one and I was like, this is not XL. So just be aware of all the jersey sizes so you can ensure that you don't get left with a piece on the periphery of your jersey collection because it's too small. You just want to get a jersey that you want in the right size. It's also important to remember that the main jersey sizes, the most popular jersey sizes, are medium, large and XL. You know, when you start getting above that, it gets a bit tricky. I've got a 4XL Jordan jersey. Am I going to wear it? No, it's too baggy. So I should really be selling it. Although I really like the jersey. So this is the problem. This is one of the decisions you're going to have to make. Like, should I sell? Should I sell this jersey even though I've not seen another jersey like it before? So it's an internal argument you're going to have to complete with yourself. So I've mentioned that the sizes of jerseys fluctuated between manufacturers. I also need to mention to you how the washing directions fluctuate between manufacturers. So this is really important to consider, because if you get this wrong, you can really mess up your jersey, and if it's your pride and joy, you do not want to mess up your jersey. I guess it's the equivalent of having a white pair of trainers and then someone stepping on them in mud. So you want to make sure you don't mess up your jerseys. Always read the label. Just to be on the safe side, it takes 2 seconds. Make sure that you are 100% comfortable with how you're going to wash the jersey. Again, I've written a massive table of how each jersey's washed. Read it for the rough guidelines, but always check your label as well. And that way you can ensure that you make your jersey clean, but also you don't damage it. One of my other top tips when it comes to jerseys and keeping them clean, and this was something told to me by my mother-in-law, and since she's told it to me, I've used it constantly, and it's been absolutely brilliant, is if you get a stain, use travel wash. You know, the little yellow travel washes that you get when you go overseas on holiday, and you know, you spill something, or maybe you don't have washing facilities, and you use it and you scrub away. I used it once in Peru when I spilled stuff all over me, and it worked a treat, and it has worked on basketball jerseys. Again, read the guidelines, make sure that you're fully aware of what you're putting on. Also make sure what type of water you should be using. I usually like ask my mum or my mother-in-law. I'm like, oh, what sort of water should I use for this? Should it be hot water or should it be cold water? Because it varies greatly depending on the stain. So it's really important that you know what temperature water to use on your jerseys to ensure that you get the stain out. Maybe you want a unique piece in your jersey collection, and you might want to go for an autographed jersey. So just be wary of autographed jerseys. You need to know the ins and outs. And I'm not an expert. This is only what I've just picked up through my time at looking at jerseys. But essentially, the jerseys I've looked at, and I've looked at like a Robert Parrish signed jersey, is they come with a certificate, and you can go on the website and you can get your certificate authenticated, so you know that it's correct, and that this person has signed the jersey appropriately. And it is Robert Parrish who signed it. And so I've used that. When I've asked the seller to see it, they've said it straight away. Yep, here you go. Here's the certificate number, and it's authenticated. Perfect. That's what you want. If you're buying it off eBay and some guy goes, oh yeah, I got it signed by Michael Jordan when I bumped into him in McDonald's, you know, like, okay, that could happen, but unlikely. So always make sure that you've got the correct documentation if you're going to spend a lot of money on a unique piece like that. So this sounds a little bit far-fetched, but make sure you've got the right insurance. Like, we have house insurance here in the UK. I don't know what it's like in the rest of the world, but if I've got an expensive jersey, I want to make sure that it's included in my insurance. So I'm just making sure I maintain my basketball collection for the worst possible thing that can happen. If my house burnt down, my basketball jersey collection is covered, I get the money and I start again. So just make sure that you've got all the right bits and bobs to ensure that your jersey collection is covered. Okay, so the biggest mistake I've ever made, and really I'm just letting you know now, with a basketball collection, please do never, ever, ever, ever make this mistake. Do not give away a basketball jersey for love. It's probably not love. I'm just calling it now. I made this mistake. I gave away an Allen Iverson, the black jersey, you know, from the 2001 finals. I gave it away to a girl who was my high school sweetheart. She was the one. Yeah. We split up pretty soon after, and I've not seen that jersey since. Just don't do it. Just don't do it. Keep your jerseys. Don't give them away for free. Who does that? What idiot would do that? Don't be like me. Don't be an idiot. Anyway, so that's another great piece of advice for a basketball jersey collection. Piece of advice: you could make your jersey collection really unique with the introduction of Cameo. This is, if you're not aware of Cameo, this is where you pay people to say something to you, and there is a lot of NBA basketball players on there. A lot of them are reasonably cheap. So if you've got one of their jerseys, I would personally pay the money and get them to say a little bit about their jersey. What did they think of it? Did they enjoy playing it? Blah, 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 blah. And you could have a real nice interactive piece that goes with your jersey, and that'd be a real nice touch.